from the first game, football would not have come here without Dr. Ron Engel. That's going to be Dr. Ron. You know what? There's going to be a lot of touchdowns on this field. You understand?
The celebration for Coastal Carolina after its first victory ever in its first ever game against Newberry, 21-14, and Dave Bennett a very happy man. Coming to you tonight, live from Brooks Stadium in Conway, South Carolina, it's football on TFN, Charleston versus Coastal Carolina University. Hello again, everybody. Paul Olden here along with Gene Fugate. Dan Jansen will join us shortly. Well, this time last year, these two teams were not playing football. It's all new for Coastal Carolina. As for Charleston, resuming action since 1956, and they're led by running back Chris Moore tonight.
Well, Julian Lambert is usually the starting running back, but he's injured. Chris Moore, 6'2", 230 pounds, will carry the load today, and expect him to get a lot of carries.
And expect the linebacker Emmanuel Darty to see a lot of action tonight, and why not? He's the leader on that defense.
Yes, he is the leader. He's a spiritual leader. He's also very experienced, having played at junior college. So look for that middle linebacker to be in on a lot of plays today.
As for Coastal Carolina, the Chanticleers, we'll explain Chanticleers a little bit later on, but running back Andres Perkins is the guy, and you're going to notice him wearing a little bit of a flak jacket. That's why he has a rib injury.
Well, he has bruised ribs, but he's also one of the top running backs in the country. Many believe that he could have gone to many other schools, but he wanted to be part of a tradition here at Coastal.
And on defense, linebacker Maurice Simpkins is a leader. He's already kind of called his team out this week. Play a little bit harder this week. We'll see what happens.
Well, Coach Bennett was lucky to get Simpkins because Simpkins played for Coach Bennett at Catawba and then transferred here. They won a championship together, and they hope before he leaves they get another one.
Let's check in with our colleague Dan Jansen on the sideline.
Well, guys, as these two first-year teams get ready to kick off here, the weather conditions are perfect. There was a question about that as it rained on and off all day today, and the big issue was going to be the field, whether or not there's going to be a lot of slipping and sliding out there. I can tell you that will not be an issue. It cost nearly $12 million to build this stadium. They built a huge draining system underneath, and I'm told the field can handle up to 2 inches of rain per hour. So I've also watched the pregame warm-ups. I didn't see one player slip out there. So as they get ready to kick off, weather perfect right now. Field won't be an issue. Paul, Dean, back up to you.
Thank you, Dan. So Coastal Carolina, the Chanticleers at 1AA. With a 2-3 record, the Charleston Golden Eagles at 1-4 from Division II. So a non-conference game tonight as we look at the Charleston walking onto the field. We're just about set for kickoff. We'll be right back after we check these messages from your local station. Just had the coin toss, and Charleston is going to receive the kickoff. The referee tonight is Jim Knight. So here we are at a beautiful school. It's a terrific campus. This used to be a soccer field until they decided to sink some money into it and build a terrific field. And as Dan said, the conditions are a little less than what they were expecting tonight. But as Charleston prepares to go on the field, they will have a pretty good track to run on, and both teams shouldn't have any footing problems.
But it's very humid, and you still got a little drizzle coming every now and then. And on a wet day, you got to be worried about two things. You got to be worried about the kicking game, and you got to be worried about turnovers. So you got to protect that ball, and if you do that, you got a chance to win.
Charleston getting back to football action. We mentioned for the first time since 1956. The last man out the door was Eddie King, and he had a terrific record of 60 wins, 30 losses, and only 4 ties. But for various reasons, the football program died and has been resurrected this season. And we talked about going out and getting the junior college player. What kind of challenges do you have when you have a lot of junior college players on your team?
Well, the biggest challenge is to try to get all of them coming from different teams to gel together on one team. But I'm really happy about the fact that we're covering 2 teams that are just getting started. Here come the Chants, because football means so much to the campus, to the community, and it brings people together. And I'm just so excited to be here tonight with 2 teams starting in their first year.
Yeah, the Chanticleers, speaking of first year, something like 19 of the starters are freshmen, and the fans are out here to support the team, of course. But when you have freshmen, you're going to have various levels of play from week to week.
Well, don't be fooled by that. They're redshirt freshmen, meaning most of them have been in school for 2 years, and they practiced, like we said earlier, Paul, all last year at about 12 different sites. Where were some of those places they practiced?
Oh, you got golf courses, you got parking lots, you have weed fields, you have backyard, you have farms. And as we take a look at the series history, obviously this is a beginning of perhaps a new rivalry, although, again, this is a non-conference game tonight. But both coaches feeling there is a little bit something to prove, especially Mike Springston. He's had some discipline problems. He's had some injury problems, as the Chanticleers are all fired up for this ball game. And they figure here it's a home game and a chance to break even again if they get a victory tonight and run their record to 3-3. And so the Chanticleers charging onto the field, led by their coach, Dave Bennett. Bennett was pretty inspirational when we talked to him last night.
He's very charismatic.
He's a guy who's almost like he feels he's a father figure to a lot of these young players.
Well, he really understands the importance that a football coach could mean to a player. As a former player myself, Paul, I really had a very close relationship with all my coaches, Tom Landry, George Allen, and I still remember them today because they meant so much to me, catching me at a time when I was very impressionable. And these guys, a lot of times they go to school and they don't know what they're supposed to be doing day to day. And that's what's great being in an athletic program, because you become disciplined, you learn how to work hard, and you learn to work as a team.
So there is the Chanticleer.
Chancer, huh? From the Canterbury Tales?
Well,
Old English?
A Chanticleer is a rooster who rules the barnyard with cunning and wit. His competitiveness never wanes, and until the battle ends, he uses his brains to come out on top every time.
No, not on top of a game.
Maybe that rivalry will be fostered somewhere down the road. And the coach told us last night that they have dreams of this program being very big, not just a good Division I AA team, but they want to be the best Division I AA team.
No, Dr. Engel and his staff here at Coastal Carolina has invested in this program. And you can see it in every aspect of it, from the players, the uniforms, the stadium, and the attitude of all the people. And I want to thank them because they've all been great to us.
So getting set for the kickoff now. Again, Charleston will receive. Number 5, Maurice Holmes, is one of the challenging returners. And Josh Holt, number 47, approaches and puts his foot into it. And we're underway with a big kick. And this one's coming down to Ricky Holloway. Check that, Garrett Gregory on the return and stopped inside the 5. So Gregory thought he found an opening perhaps on the left side of the field. Instead of coming straight up, he decided to go diagonally over there.
Well, that was a call play, Paul. They had a return left on, and it's very difficult when you catch the ball outside of the right hash to return to the left. And that time we got a chance to see some of the speed of Coastal Carolina.
Number 8, Kelly Colburn is the quarterback, junior college transfer. No surprise there, from Santa Ana College.
They run a no-huddle offense, so we'll expect to see this most of the game, trying to take advantage of getting the defense tired.
Colburn wants the pass, and he makes his completion, but not much of a gain as the ball is brought in by Trent Taylor. He's a junior. And again, you have some experience on this side. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's experience is going to lead to an easy victory or to everybody knowing exactly what the plays are.
Well, the great Redskin coach always, George Allen always said that the most important series is that first series on offense and defense in the beginning of the game and then second half.
Chris Moore handles the ball for the first time and doesn't have any blocking. He's inside the 10-yard line. So they'll face about a 3rd and 6 situation, 3rd and 7 coming up. And Moore is expected to handle the ball quite a bit. We'll continue to look at the lineups for Charleston. The running backs led by Chris Moore and Chip Montes. He goes there by Cipriano, but we're going to call him Chip. And the offensive line there, Nick Gabelli is also the long snapper, which could play a big role in this game. 3rd down. Pass to the far side and incomplete, caught out of bounds by Trent Taylor. He went into a slide. Whether or not that meant the footing was bad over there, we don't know, but he brought the ball in out of bounds anyway.
Tough break, would have been a first down.
Darnell Williams and Greg Williamson are deep to receive the punt now. coming up from Jeff Hoover. So the first punt of the night. So 3 and out for Charleston. Hoover standing with a little bit of working room behind him. And he has an opportunity to punt unabated. Contact made before the reception attempt, and flags are down. So they did not give the punt returner a chance to make the play, and there were 2 flags thrown immediately.
Garrett Gregory, a defensive back, really hustled down the field, trying to make a big play. Might have been a little too early.
Jim Knight is our referee explaining. And now we'll hear the announcement on the penalty. Take another look. It didn't appear.
Kick catch interference, 15-yard penalty, first down.
So the 15-yard penalty, it didn't look as though the fair catch signal was that clear, but Greg Williamson was said to have done it.
He still can't interfere with the catch, though, Paul.
So Tyler Thigpen now the quarterback. There was competition during the week with Ren McKinnon, and Thigpen is the man who is going to make the start tonight. Not to say that we won't see McKinnon, possibly we will. But right now they start off with Thigpen in terrific field position on the 24-yard line of Charleston. 1st and 10. Out of the I formation, begin their offensive attack. And they go for the big ball right there, and no flags. It looked as though Noble was contacted as the ball was arriving in the neighborhood. Whether or not they were saying it was an uncatchable ball, but they decided there was no penalty. You be the judge.
Well, it looked like there was clearly contact before the ball arrived, and usually you get a penalty on that call. They had 2 officials down there in good position, but Coach Bennett can't believe what happened.
Oh, Michael Burns might have gotten away with one, so 2nd down and 10. And now the running game begins, and the play goes to Andres Perkins. Taking a look at the offense for the Chanticleers. And Perkins is going to be the guy who gets the brunt of the work tonight. Morant, the fullback, does the blocking. And the offensive line will be opening up the hole. And Antoine Trice also coming over from Catawba.
They average over 300 pounds on that offensive line.
And no wonder they like the running game. So 3rd down and 6. Another pass attempt, but no one open. And so the short run by Thigpen to the left side. Gain 3. Defensively for the Charleston Golden Eagles. We look at the inside people, defensive line battle, Benitez and Wood. Battle was supposed to make the start tonight, but he's not going to be in there very much. Harris, Darty, and Foy, your linebackers.
And they're a good bunch. That Jeff Foy, you got to watch him tonight. He's going to be on some plays.
There was a penalty on the last run.
Now, Coastal Carolina.
There's the secondary, and the penalty is on Coastal Carolina. The secondary will be busy. It looks as though if Coastal Carolina and Thigpen look like they want to come out and do a lot of passing tonight, as Owens, Burns, Waters, Crawford, and Sherrod will have to try and stop what might be a passing game. But they have not thrown a passing touchdown this season.
And they're barely passing for over 100 yards a game, so it really was a surprise, I think, for Charleston to see Coastal come out passing.
So 3rd and a long ways to go, about 15 yards. And Thigpen passes strongly, and it is intercepted. Wow. Chris Noble was the intended receiver, and in a crowd, it was picked out of there by number 15, Michael Burns. So as we take another look at it, we urge you to stay tuned. No score here in the first quarter of play. Coming to you from Conway, South Carolina on the Football Network. Back to action. That was ruled no interception, as it turns out, for Burns. So they tried a field goal on the way and hitting the right upright. No good. So Holt's field goal attempt came close. And he gets the high fives. Perhaps he'll get another chance later on to try it again, and he'll make that adjustment, hitting the upright. So scoreless here in the first quarter, just underway. Both sides have had the ball for one offensive series. 11:54 to go here in the first quarter. You're watching football on the Football Network. Back with you here at Conway, South Carolina. No score in the first quarter play. Josh Holt narrowly missing a 47-yard field goal try. He had missed one from 48 earlier this season and came oh so close right there, hitting the right upright. So now Charleston takes over in a scoreless game in the first quarter. So each side has had a chance to handle the ball. Kelly Coburn on his second series now. They were 3 and out the first time they had the ball. And the inside handoff going to Chris Moore. And Moore with flags down, crossing the 35-yard line. So we'll sort out the penalty and check the defense now for Coastal Carolina. And there are your linemen and the nose tackle led by Rashawn Crosby. Adrian Grady and Damian Hopkins on the outside of the defensive end. The linebackers, and Maurice Simpkins is the leader of that group. Jamar Leith also is in on a lot of tackles, and the secondary led by the free safety Quentin Teal and the strong safety Travis Kane. So the penalty puts the ball at the 40-yard line, the 41 actually, 1st and 10 from that spot. And Kelly Coburn out of the gun. The JC transfer from Santa Ana to the left side, and a wide open receiver. Hollis brings it in, and Stanley out of bounds, a big gainer inside the 40-yard line to the 39 now of Coastal Carolina.
Well, Stanley Hollis is quite an athlete. He also plays some quarterback from time to time. But this time he has man-to-man coverage, and he runs downfield, threatening deep, and breaks it hard to the outside.
There was another penalty and holding, so that play will be brought back. Just wipe it off. It doesn't count. Holding. Well, that has to really stink to get a nice, you get a man wide open, nobody covering him. A beautiful pass, but a penalty kills it. So instead of feeling like they're making some progress deep into the opposition territory, they are marching back. We've had our fair share of penalties already here in the first quarter, and perhaps that can be attributed to youth.
Well, these guys are just still getting to know each other. They've only got a few games together, and when you try to get 11 people to play as one, that can happen.
So 1st and 20 now. The ball spotted at the 31-yard line, back in Charleston territory. And that running play to Chris Moore gains maybe 1, if in fact they gained anything.
That was Rashawn Crosby, who did a good job. You'll see number 52 Crosby come in, and they were trying to use action to the right to influence going back to the left, but Crosby was not fooled.
As though they got away with a hold on the interior line.
Now, don't talk about the line like that.
Well, I'm just talking what I see there on the screen. So they lost a couple on that play, and this one is almost intercepted. So on the near sideline, Sergio Geiger had that one into and out of his hands as it was dying at about the 50-yard line.
Yeah, this is really interesting. Coach Bennett is known for his defensive squads. In fact, the last time he coached, they had 4 shutouts at Catawba a couple years ago. And now he's being tested by Coach Springston, who calls every offensive play.
So now, does he have a play for 3rd and 22? Not a lot of coaches have that in their playbook. The running back, Chris Moore, to the left of the quarterback, Coburn. Moore in the block, and it doesn't do any good. The man he was trying to block, I believe, Adrian Grady, was able to fend off the block and come in there and make the play.
Looked like Big Sam Harper that time coming in. Sam is 285 pounds, and he grabbed the quarterback by one hand and ripped him to the ground.
So now the punt. Greg Williamson standing deep along with Darnell Williams. Williams is number 2, and Williamson's number is 8. And the punt is away from Jeff Hoover. And it's a short punt. And coming up to make the catch is Darnell Williams. For the second time now, Coastal Carolina, the Chanticleers with very good field position. I mean, inside the 15, this ball is spotted at the 37-yard line. We're going to pause here for our local stations. 9:58 to go in the first quarter. No score. Charleston, West Virginia, and Coastal Carolina. We're back as we take a look at some of the cheerleaders here tonight. And down there among them will be Dan Jansen. We'll be checking in with him shortly. No score. And for the second consecutive series, a tremendous field position for Coastal Carolina. And the running play straight up the middle for Perkins. And let's check in with Dan.
Well, guys, the day before the game, both teams come out and they do a walkthrough. Well, yesterday, as Charleston was driving up, the bus driver took a wrong turn. Coach Springston asked him, he was suspected it might have been a wrong turn. The bus driver said, no, don't worry about it. Sure enough, it was a wrong turn. They got lost for 90 minutes to 2 hours. When they finally got here, they had no time. They literally got off the bus, walked on the field, got back on the bus and left. Maybe that's a little bit of the reason for their shaky start here tonight.
And you can't blame them for being a little disappointed with unable to walk through and kind of go over some things. Here's Perkins looking for a first down. He'll come up short by about 3 yards as he takes the ball to the 30-yard line. And Perkins was a little disappointed he didn't have better blocking.
Perkins again, the ball carrier, brought down by number 21, Malcolm Waters.
There's Perkins, number 1, and you can see how big he is coming up on the side. Now, they tried again to use influence. They started earlier with the passing attack, which so far this year has been, well, I won't say non-existent, but not so much. But now they're going back to the bread and butter, and they're being successful. Third down.
Perkins with 3 carries and 12 yards so far. His 4th carry now, and Perkins tries the left side, and a second effort, and that might have been good enough to get him that first down. Nice second effort as he kicked forward. Tamar Sherrod, among others, in on that stop, but did not soon enough to prevent the first down. So 1st and 10 now at the 26-yard line.
Well, Coastal's getting close to that red zone, and they were very close to scoring when they were down the last time before, so here they come knocking again.
Josh Holt had his 47-yard field goal try, hit the right upright and kick away. So 1st and 10. And a near interception, a near catch, a near interception. As Jeff Coates tried to bring that high throw in, and it glanced off of his hand.
And Malcolm Waters, number 21, was there to intercept. He was trying to look at Malcolm Waters coming in for the interception. And Jazz couldn't get his hands on it.
Jeff Coates will get his number called again.
And I'm really surprised seeing all these passes for Coastal. Wasn't expecting to see that.
Coastal Carolina with 16 yards and a -1 for Charleston. And here is a positive number 1, Andre Perkins, as he shreds up the middle for a first down.
Watch this blocking at the line of scrimmage. This is why this guy runs so well. Look at these big guys getting in front, a hat on the hat. Great spin, balance, holding the ball. That's what we expected to see tonight. Plenty of number 1 running right up in there.
So now 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line.
I mean, you don't get to be 12th in the country throwing a lot of passes, I guess.
Tyler Thigpen under center. And here is a nice running play off the left side. This time Brandon Fisher is the ball carrier. He doesn't carry the ball very much, but only averaging 2.2 yards per carry. But look at him step over his blockers there.
Yeah, we can see that the Charleston line is starting to take charge. They really have an advantage. They average over 300 pounds. 4 of the 5 are over 3, and 1 is 280. But I did my math, and they average over 300 pounds. And that's an advantage when you're going up against 3 guys that are 280.
They usually score when they're inside the red zone, inside the 20. And they're getting close. This is Perkins. Nice little cutback as he's hit in midair. He had to step inside as a flag comes down. Tamar Sherrod was all set to grab him, and then he made a little move to the left of Sherrod. That didn't really open up any ground. No score here in the first quarter, still another penalty. Well, perhaps not.
Did they change their mind?
Third down for the Santa Clara.
Okay.
So third down. And short yardage, maybe a long one.
I'm looking for Perkins again.
Oh, you have to. But it's not going to be Perkins. Instead, the running play to Morant. Demetrius Morant, his 16th carry of the season, and he has scored a couple of touchdowns this year. So he's used to carrying the ball perhaps in these short yardage situations. And that's good enough for a first and goal.
Absolutely. They went with a full house backfield that time. And when you do, it gives you more options and more things for the defense to worry about. But down here, you got to go right in front and go right at them with your front guys, because your guys are big and strong, and they're really getting hats on hats.
This is Perkins driving to the goal line, and he's in for the touchdown. He just kept the legs going hard and scored the touchdown, kind of pushing back the potential tacklers. So the Chanticleers fans are happy, and they take advantage of that great field position. Perkins now with 32 yards on the ground.
Watch this offensive line just dominate up front. And if they're going to do that, Perkins is going to be running all night. He's got 32 yards already.
Polk with the point after touchdown. As the Chanticleers break the ice as they look to even their home record at their record overall at 3 wins and 3 losses. And the conversion is up and good. Oh, I take that back. It is no good. He missed it to the right. So Holt has missed a field goal from 47 and misses what normally it will be a chip shot for him. But instead, he misses the point after. So it is 6-0 as we take a break for our local station. Fans, if you're into fantasy football, you got to watch Fantasy Football 2003 Saturday mornings at 9 on Spike TV. Paul Crane, Jerry Glanville, Danny Sheridan tell you who to pick, who to play, and who to park on the bench. Want to win? Watch Fantasy Football 2003 Saturday morning on Spike TV.
Yeah, they were really on the money this morning, and since we had a late game tonight, I was able to cheat and watch them. Usually we miss them because the games are so early, but boy, it was really interesting to see that fantasy football. It took me a while to understand, but my son explained it to me, and now I'm ready to go.
Yeah, the kids are really into it. So Coach Dave Bennett, a little unhappy that conversion kick was no good, but has the 6-0 lead here in the first quarter.
Well, he is intense, isn't he?
Absolutely. You want to take advantage of every opportunity to score, and even something as mundane as a point after can come back. A point after miss can come back to haunt you a little bit later on.
That's right. A team has to learn how to win, and that's what he's trying to teach here at Coastal Carolina.
Now the return by Maurice Holmes. And Holmes straight up the middle of the field, past the 30-yard line to about the 33.
That looks like that could be their best field position of the day. They've had their back to the goal line the entire game. And they've come out with a no-huddle. Coach Springston calls all the plays, and they come out, they line up, and they snap and go.
Charleston, 1 win, 4 losses this season. We talked about how they have imported a lot of junior college players, most of them from California. They started practice with 39 JC transfers and 31 of them from California. Nice fake by the quarterback as Colburn kept it, as it turns out, and ran the ball to the left side and picks up what looks to be about 4 yards on that run. So 2nd down as the clock continues to spin inside the 6-minute mark here in the first quarter of play. We haven't really had any rain since about 5 or 6 o'clock. Field's in terrific shape.
Well, Charleston back up at the line, and they've been stopping themselves with penalties.
2nd and 5 officially. Colburn being chased out of the pocket, rolling to the right side, and smartly goes out of bounds. As Rashawn Crosby got in there ahead of everybody else and pretty much put the brakes to that play development.
Well, the good thing he did, because he had a couple of receivers breaking open downfield, but he did not have the time to find them.
So with Sean Durham and at quarterback, they had started with Kelly Colburn. So now they go to Sean Durham. And we watched Durham in the pregame warm-ups, and He seems to be able to put the zip on the ball a little bit better. Seems to be a better passer. 3rd and 3.
Well, he's 6'3", over 220 pounds, so he's a big, strong Terry Bradshaw type guy.
Chris Moore, the only man back there. Blitz look.
Here they come.
And the pass is incomplete on the near side, a slant. And Hollis was the intended receiver, but very tightly covered there.
Yeah,
nicely by Geiger.
Yeah, Hollis wanted a penalty on that play. And most receivers do when they don't catch the ball.
It's not my fault. I was interfered with.
Or held. And I was held almost every play, I'm telling you. These defensive guys, they'll hold you, they'll hold you, they'll hold you.
So the punt away coming up from Jeff Hoover.
Last time it was only 19 yards, and I don't know what the deal is on that, but let's check him out this time.
No pressure until the very last moment, but a high hanger. And a fortunate bounce inside the 30, still going down to about the 27-yard line. So this will be the poorest field position tonight for the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. And Hoover gets a good punt and a nice roll at the 5:07 mark remaining here in the first quarter of play. 33 yards on that punt. 6-0. Coastal Carolina is in front. So 1st and 10 at the 29-yard line now.
Coastal clearly has Charleston off balance. Their defense doesn't know what to expect now, whether it's going to be a run or a pass.
Well, at least the field is going to be a little bit longer for Coastal Carolina this time. Out of the I formation. And the inside handoff to the lead runner, Morant. And he rumbles ahead across the 35 to the 36-yard line. So a nice gainer on 1st down.
Boy, and everybody on Coastal Carolina blocked somebody. I mean, even the wide receivers fall. Everybody got downfield and got their hat on someone.
174 yards.
I mean, it really is a team game, and you can't be the number 12 rusher without having guys blocking for you.
So this time just one running back. He's going to get the ball, charging straight ahead. It's Morant once again. And appeared, and in fact, they will spot the ball for a 1st down. They're going to spot it at the 40. He got pushed back.
Boy,
It's the forward 1st
look
down.
how big he is, Paul. He's a load. They say he's 245 pounds. And I know I wouldn't want to be in front of him going full speed.
He gets the 1st down to the 40-yard line. Take another look.
Watch him come at you. I mean, this is a big guy. Look at him. Oh, he's a load. Jump on him.
Crawford was lost out on the weight.
I'll say he did.
The weight transfer there as the running play now goes to the left side, and Perkins. And Perkins, another nice gainer on 1st down. Looks as though he picks up 8.
Now, this is the Coastal offense I was expecting to see. The offensive line really has an advantage, and they sense it. It's like blood in the water, and they're going to go after it. Look at the blocking.
Perkins 32 yards now.
Wow, look at that cut block.
And he wasn't even running hard, though. It looked as though he was just trying to pick his spot and kind of glide up the field. So 7-yard gain. 2nd and 3 as they approach midfield. Thigpen decides to keep it himself and has plenty of running room on the right side and has a 1st down.
Fundamental football right there. That's football 101. Fake to the fullback, let your halfback lead you to the hole, come around. And when you start to do plays like that, again, it keeps the defense off balance. They don't know what to expect. And Coastal Carolina, after having no 1st downs after 2 drives, now have 5.
So whether or not they have a short field or have to work a little bit harder for their yards, they seem to be able to pick them up. And the defense now for Charleston is being challenged and being worn down. Here's Perkins straight ahead, and a nice tackle made inside by Emmanuel Darty, a young man we spotlighted in our pregame talk.
Now, Emmanuel Darty is expected to make a lot of plays, and here he is coming in and making that tackle. Number 41 really read where the hole was. Emmanuel Darty, you're going to hear his name tonight, and he knows how to fill a hole.
Ball's at the 40, so 2nd down and 7. With 2:40 and running to go here in the 1st quarter.
You know, the linebackers are supposed to make a lot of tackles in this defense. They only use 3 down linemen. but they have 3 linebackers, and they have 2 other players that can play either as linebackers or defensive backs.
The look to pass, but nothing really happening there. As Durham Woods got in there, number 93 initially, to force the quarterback Big Pen to try and find an alternative. There was nothing there.
Well, I think that's the first time we've seen tonight the defensive line overpowering the Coastal offensive line. And they were doing so well running the ball. But I guess you got to be balanced, and you got to get that passing attack going sometime. So why not tonight, huh?
Now, number 2, Darnell Williams comes in from Coastal Carolina. He's listed at 5'5", 145.
Oh, he's shorter than that.
He's the slap man at the bottom of your screen.
There's a blitz.
Still time to throw, and it is the little man making the catch. Yeah. Darnell Williams comes up with the catch. He had to stop and come back for it as it was running out of steam, but he makes the catch.
And who said that Coastal can't pass? Watch this play. With a man in his face. Oh, what a catch. I mean, that ball was almost on the ground, Paul. He got 2 hands under.
Again, in college football, as soon as you're down, the play is dead. In the NFL, he could have gotten up and run into the end zone since he was untouched. But that's the difference, one of the many differences between the pros and the colleges. That's a 26-yard gain, 1st and 10. And the inside handoff goes to Morant for maybe a couple. You'd like to see, maybe they were talking about this today or on one of the games we were watching, the rules in both college and pro football more the same. I mean, why if a man is untouched when he catches the ball, why can't he get up and run?
Well, we don't think that the players at college level are as developed as the pro players, and that's why they won't let Maurice Claret play in the pros.
Wait till he takes that to court. We can get on that a little bit later on. 2nd down and 9, under a minute to go in the first quarter. Coastal Carolina trying to score again, and this is Morant up the middle, and they do in fact score again. Demetrius Morant, the freshman, and he's a load of 245 pounds, and just pounded that one straight ahead.
Again, we have great blocking here. Starts all up front, and you can see they double team number 97, and there's a big hole. Paul, you might have even been able to run through that one.
I think so.
Well, Coach Bennett said there are going to be a lot of touchdowns scored on this field.
They're going to go after 2 since the previous conversion attempt hit the upright. Big Pen in trouble, fumbles the ball, and the point after touchdown, the 2-point attempt is a failure. So the score now is 12-0 Coastal Carolina, with 40 seconds remaining here in the first quarter.
Well, that was an impressive drive, and a coach likes to see when a team can start back and come up.
Football 101 is pure, unadulterated pigskin. DeMarco Farr, Kathleen Murphy scour the world of football to bring you unique stories and tell them in TFN style. From Pee-wees to the pros, get the freshest taste of football possible on Football 101, Saturday mornings at 9:30 on Spike TV. Do you worry about with Charleston running out of gas already? Their defense is on the field so much.
You got to worry about it. I know Coach Mike Springston is not excited about what he's seeing out of this Charleston, West Virginia team. But they are a passing team, so they are not out of it yet, and that's why Charleston went for the Coastal went for the 2 points, because 12 is not too much. Still in the first quarter here in the golf capital of the world. I couldn't believe how many golf courses they had here.
And we had lunch at a local sub shop, and there were golf paintings on the wall. Sandwiches actually playing golf. I hadn't seen that before. So the coach is a little exasperated, but trying to stay calm, and in the face of being down now here in the first quarter, 12-0. Mike Springston was in a much better mood today than he was yesterday after that bus debacle. So now the kickoff. And the reception by Holmes. Coming to the near side, got a block there, and turns it back in. So he got a good block from number 31, Drew Melton, and that allowed him to, instead of going out of bounds, he saw a little bit more running room and made the most of it. So 1st and 10. And they're going to spot the ball at the 36-yard line in Charleston territory with 31 seconds remaining in the first quarter of play. We're coming to you from Brooks Stadium. Capacity 6,408, a beautiful grass field. And Coastal Carolina's Coach Dave Bennett there, the man in the middle. He was brought over here. We met his wife Melanie last night, and a dedicated football wife.
She cooks cookies and cakes for the players the night before the game when they have their pizza party.
First and 10 now for Charleston. And passing, looks like that is going to be Durham once again, remaining in at quarterback for his second series, but instead he decides to keep it on the ground and hand it off to Chris Moore. So the game was started by the JC transfer out of Santa Ana, Kelly Colburn. And then Sean Durham now is in on his second series. And we don't know if it's an injury that led for Charleston to make the change or not. Coming to the end of the first quarter. So 12-0 is the score. Coastal Carolina over Charleston from West Virginia. And we're going to pause station. Take a break. As the Chanticleers coming onto the field earlier. The point after touchdown miss. The field goal miss, but Coastal Carolina still able to build a 12-0 advantage. Back with you from beautiful Brooks Stadium in Conway, South Carolina, right in the Myrtle Beach area. Paul Olden, Gene Fugit, Dan Jansen will join us shortly down on the sideline. As we begin the second quarter of play, Coastal Carolina with a 12-0 lead over Charleston, and they have the decided edge on the statistical board as well, as they try to figure out, Mike Springston of Charleston, how to stop Coastal Carolina. Right now they're trying to get their offensive going.
Well, I expect Charleston to start playing a lot better. You've heard of jet lag, Paul. Well, they had bus lag. 12 hours on the bus yesterday, arriving around 6 p.m. Didn't even have time to practice.
Durham, the quarterback, out of the gun. And from behind, it is intercepted. The ball was hit and picked off by Maurice Simpkins. And Simpkins is down inside the 30-yard line. But Durham had his hand hit initially, and that threw the ball off course before Simpkins could get it.
Here's the defense coming in on him, and wow, look at that. He got his hand right on the ball.
Adrian Grady, number 92.
And there's Simpkins, who leads by example. We talked earlier about how important he is to the team, and he wants to have a championship before he leaves.
So now Coastal Carolina trying to take advantage of the turnover. First and 10 from the 26-yard line. Tyler Thigpen, the quarterback, asking for the snap, and there it is. Inside handoff now goes to Perkins, and Perkins fights to the 20-yard line. We talked about the one-sided nature of the statistical scoreboard, Gene.
Yes, in the first quarter, it's very clear that Charleston has not gotten off the bus yet. Look at that time of possession. Look at the total yards, 113-9. Wow, 87-5 rushing. They're going to have to come up with some more stunts. They're going to have to blitz. They're going to have to give the offense some different looks. They're going to have to try to trick them.
So Emmanuel Darte, number 41, as Perkins twisting his way inside the 10 to a first and goal situation at the 5-yard line. Oh, Marty, this is a videotape of a few moments ago. Live, I'm sorry, over on the sideline.
Looked like a leg or knee injury. He already has that knee bandage. And you could see on that last play, they sorely missed him as they ran right up the middle where he would have been normally. Perkins already with 63 yards today.
So first and goal to go from the 5-yard line. Perkins joined in the backfield by Morant. And Morant, number 21, has the ball and has the touchdown.
Wow. What a jumbo, huh? Big boy, big boy.
I don't know really if he was touched on his way in, other than maybe brushing against his own teammate. So they take advantage of the interception, and Morant with his second touchdown, 36 yards on the ground.
Coastal Carolina has a real advantage up front, and they're taking advantage of it.
The conversion try now.
Well, that kicker's been snake bit. Hokie is a very fine kicker, but he's had trouble tonight getting untracked.
This one is straight and true, so the point after is good. Take another look at the run as we pause from Brooks Stadium. 13:40 to go here in the first half of play as Morant easily slides off the left side, the freshman from Sumter, South Carolina. Local break, 19-0 Coastal Carolina. Back at Coastal Carolina, this reminder to check out the TFN's website, footballnetwork.com. We'll have in-depth information on your favorite teams, including a special section for you 1AA fanatics. We'll also have a complement our fantasy football programming with even more content and analysis. Exercise your football gland online at footballnetwork.com. So preparing for the kickoff, Jeff Hoke, after he made good his point after touchdown. Demetrius Morant with his second score of the game, and the fans are having a great time on a warm night. Warm and damp, muggy, but if your team is in front, it's a beautiful night. This one to the end zone, and it's going to be run out. Maybe not the best move to make. Hollis is brought down inside the 20. Let's check out Dan Jansen with a very special guest. Dan?
Well, guys, I'm here with Warren Moosekogel, the athletic director, in your third year here at Carolina, Coastal Carolina. Amazing. We were here 3-4 weeks ago for game number 1, which you guys won. Team already looks a lot sharper.
Well, every week is a learning experience for us, Dan, and these kids have worked awful hard, and we're getting better and better, and that's what should be happening. And they're all freshmen and redshirt freshmen that have learned about how to win and how to play together and do the right things. And once that happens, we'll be pretty good someday, you know.
Well, certainly with the freshmen, but you also have to be impressed with the job that Coach Bennett's done.
David's wonderful, his staff's wonderful. We got a guy that when we wanted to build this program up, and he's been great. And we're just pleased, you know. And great crowds and all that. It's just been wonderful.
Fun crowds. Well, good luck the rest of the season. I'm sure we'll see you again.
Thank you, Dan.
Back upstairs, guys.
Thank you, gentlemen. And as Kelly Colburn comes back in at quarterback, you have a connection, don't you, there, Steve?
That's correct. Look like the penalties so far. I'll get into that connection, but you can see that Charleston didn't get off the bus until that second quarter, because that first quarter they really had difficulty with the penalties, and that's a sign of fatigue, sign of not being sharp.
Colburn at a 1st and 15 and brought down inside the 10 near the 5-yard line, and coming out of there celebrating is Sean Schuler.
I mean, it's really, they came, last time they had 3 offensive linemen standing around looking, and usually when the offensive lineman is standing around looking, that means they missed the block. But yeah, Moose is a great guy. He played pro football for Oakland Raiders and the Jets, and we were talking earlier today, and it turns out we played against each other when I was on the Cowboys, Paul, so we have a common history.
A common history indeed. And now with Colburn backed up even farther near his goal line, you can expect the same kind of rush perhaps. And he hands it off. There's a fumble, and the recovery made by Chris Moore. Moore tried to run before he had the ball. Looked as though he saw a bit of an opening to his right, but then the only problem was he didn't have the ball, so he had to go back and recover it at about the 2-yard line.
And Jasper Brooks is going to be thinking about this all night, because he's number 40, and he got there just a little too late. Look at him jumping on, because that's what a defensive player's dream is, to score a touchdown. There he is, Jasper Brooks.
So they keep backing up farther and farther. 3rd down and 22 from the 2-yard line. And
it looks like Charleston has negative yardage so far.
Watch out for the safety potential here, as Colburn has to take the snap in his own end zone. And the high lofted pass is incomplete, and no flags.
That play was well covered by Greg Williamson, number 8. Greg, according to Coach Bennett, is the best athlete on the team. Had some injury problems early in the year, but you can see he's back in fine form.
Number 2, Darnell Williams, and number 8, Greg Williamson, deep to receive the punt. Once again, Coastal Carolina is going to get terrific field position, and the numbers tell the story.
-3 yards.
Ugly numbers for Charleston. Hoover is back as far as he can go in the end zone as he takes the low snap and gets it away. Williams will let the ball bounce out of bounds, And they're going to spot it at the 30-yard line. So we keep it here with 11:50 to go in the first half, and Coastal Carolina is no other word for it, Gene. They're dominating the game, 19-0.
Yeah, that's Coach Mike Springston trying to get his troops rallied, trying to get those mistakes corrected. Yeah, so Springston was telling us about that bus ride last night, and he knows that the guys can get discouraged very easily. And he has to keep encouraging them, and the only way he's going to do it is to have some success. But it's kind of tough the way Coastal's playing.
Coastal has the ball 1st and 10 at the official spot is the 31-yard line. And here is the pass to the end zone and broken up nicely at the very last moment.
That was Cedric Owens, the defensive back, who got back and broke up that play. We're still waiting for the first touchdown pass and reception for Coastal Carolina this far into the season. They have yet to score a touchdown by the air, but they've been close twice tonight.
Darnell Williams, the intended receiver, had caught one for 26 yards earlier, and had it not been for that TD saving play, would have had another big gainer. And so they probably believe that that play is open. Boom.
Both of those guys thought they had a chance to catch it. Look at that.
In unison. Fakes the inside handoff, and on the keeper, Thigpen maneuvers his way on the left side and almost picks up enough yardage for the first down. He's going to be short by about 1.
Well, we told you that Thigpen was a big quarterback at 6'3", 225, and as he went through there, he put his hands on the ball like a fullback, carrying tacklers, or shall I say would-be tacklers.
He had not had a very good percentage of running, 29 carries and 15 yards, and 1 touchdown. And now the running back.
Together, they almost have 100 yards. Morant, along with big Andres Perkins. Now they have the full house backfield.
And it's Morant on the left side, has the first down and takes it to the 15-yard line. Going to be 1st and 10 from that spot.
Well, that's an incredible 1-2 punch to have backs like Morant and Perkins that you can go to either time. It makes it very difficult for a defense to keep. There you see number 21, Malcolm Waters, looking over to the sideline for some instructions like, hey, how do we stop these guys?
They're just going to keep coming at you. They've had the success on the ground, and no reason to believe that that will not be the continued mode of attack.
Well, having Emmanuel Darty really hurt that defense.
Here is Thigpen deciding to run himself and makes a nice move to get inside the 10, but he is brought down by Crawford. And there's a flag down. Raynest Crawford making the stop out of Glendale City College in the Los Angeles area, but another penalty.
Dead ball, personal foul. Defense half the distance, first foul.
So the personal foul penalty. Andres Perkins, a running back with 63 total yards, a touchdown on 11 carries. Mike Springston talking to his coaches upstairs, but there's not much they can say to him. Another full house backfield here, 1st and goal to go. And Perkins and a crowd surging ahead for a couple. Still goal to go, but 2nd down now.
Well, the Charleston Golden Eagles are not quitting. It'd be very easy for them just to lay down and just let them get in and score, but they're not quitting, and the coach is not going to let them quit because he's going to keep encouraging them, knowing that they have a chance because they really on offense have really good skill players, but they haven't had the time to do anything offensively because the Chanticleers are really controlling the ball over 10 minutes so far.
Especially since it's raining once again. Perkins inside and wrapped up around the waist by Eric Benitez. A light rain is falling here. From our vantage point, it looked as though it was like a fog, but on closer inspection down on the field, it is a light rain.
Look at those big guys. I tell you, they really are enjoying this. They were so excited yesterday at practice about the opportunity to be on TV and to show everybody how far they've come from the last time they were on the Football Network.
Well, Perkins with 65 yards already, trying to make it 4 consecutive games with 100 and more yards, and looks as though he's a sure bet to get that.
Well on his way. 65 yards so far.
Thigpen with the long count, and it's Perkins for the touchdown. So his second touchdown of the game. Moran has 2 touchdowns on the ground. All the touchdowns this season for Coastal Carolina have been of the running variety. And so Perkins now officially was 67 yards rushing.
Well, he had a 15-pound difference that time. That's what happens when a 230-pound guy hits a 215-pound guy, and the 15-pound guy just holds on to the leg.
Thigpen, the holder, Josh Hope on for the point after touchdown kick attempt. Maybe take another look at how easy that was. And this PAT is good. So the shots here at Brooks Stadium, and the fans are enjoying the scoreboard. 26-0, still with 9 minutes to go in the second quarter. We're in the second quarter. Let me take a local break for our stations to tell you something. Back at Brooks Stadium, and Andres Perkins has done a terrific job. 26-0 is the score here in the second quarter, and 67 yards, couple of touchdowns on 14 carries. A nice mohawk there, huh? That's unique.
Is that his hair?
Yeah. What there is left of it.
And you got monograms in the back, huh?
Well, you spell out various things depending on what time of the year it is.
Wow.
So Josh Hope now preparing to kick off.
Mohawk, huh?
Yeah.
Last time I saw that, John Riggins was wearing one.
Wow. That is a while ago. This is Hollis, number 10, with the ball on the kickoff. And stopped just beyond the 25-yard line to about the 28. So first and 10 for Charleston. Well, if you missed TFN's Fantasy Football 2003 on Spike TV, don't worry. Visit fantasysports.yahoo.com for Fantasy Football 2003 on streaming video. Paul Crane, Jerry Glanville, and Danny Sheridan tell you who to pick, who to play, and who to park on your bench. That's fantasysports.yahoo.com. Your online home for Fantasy Football 2003. So Coburn, again, in his second series since returning. And a handoff, and Moore tries the right side, looking to turn the corner. And a couple of tacklers over there on that side, Geiger and Parker and Kane. So they try not to run up the middle. Instead, let's try and go on the outside.
Well, I don't know. That was what you call east-west running, when you rather have north and south. Got to get that ball turned upfield. Very difficult to turn a corner like that when you're a big guy trying to get around defensive back. And you can see with -2 yards, they have not been successful so far tonight.
Colburn out of the gun on second down, but the inside handoff, and Moore charges ahead, driving the leg. So that will lead to a third and about 4 on the next snap. So again, they try to go up the middle after perhaps thinking, well, you can spread the field a little bit, open up some gaps if they think we're going to run outside.
Well, it's kind of hard to say, Paul, but I know that they're hoping to get something working, and the offensive line is playing a little bit better now. But they got to get their passing attack on track. They're not going to come back from behind like this, running the ball. They got to put the ball in the air.
Moore, 6 carries, just 8 yards. And now the throw to the right side, and I heard a whistle, but the play is coming to an end anyway, as Chip Montez brought in that ball.
Boy, the receiver really took a lick that time. Watches a bubble screen. He hopes to get some blocking, but no blocking. Oh, my goodness. Where's the blocking?
Yeah, there was a penalty. Oh, okay. I did hear a whistle, and the whistle came from somebody in the stand.
Is that the same as an inadvertent whistle?
Apparently. Referee Jim Knight issued a warning over the PA system to the fans not to interfere with play in that way. So now a punt. Williams and Williamson waiting for the kick. Number 2, Darnell Williams. Number 8, Greg Williamson.
Charleston having a very difficult time getting on track. They have not converted on a third down yet. 0 for 5.
Jim Knight starts the clock. And now Jeb Hoover will punt with his team down 26-0 here in the second quarter with 7.5 to go till the break. And the punt in the air to Coastal Carolina. And Darnell Williams hit immediately and brought down.
Wow, that was Cedric Owens getting down there, and that was really a lot of hustle. People are expecting Charleston to quit. But you can see just from that play that they still think they have a chance because he comes running down and made a great tackle. Now, we hadn't seen the punter hit the ball so well. So maybe that buck lag is starting to wear off a little bit. And finally the adrenaline will get going, and we'll see the real Charleston team because I know the team is better than they've been playing.
Coach Mike Frankston of Charleston did say to us that, you know, it's a different brand of athlete playing on the other side of the ball for Coastal Carolina, more of a Division I athlete. Some of these players unable to get into Division I schools with a Division I body, and so they're playing at this level.
Well, Charleston as a Division II school is stepping up tonight.
The inside handoff and maybe a gain of 1.
Is that Daugherty back in there? Yeah, it looks like Emmanuel Daugherty, number 41, got taped up. He taped the aspirin to that knee and came back in. Oh, yeah. Told you the guy was tough because he was really in pain earlier. And now here he is back leading the defense. That's got to make a difference for him. 2nd and 10.
So no gain on that initial run. And the backs work out of the I formation behind quarterback Thigpen. Run to the near side. And lots of running room on the near side. So the 5th gainer for Coastal Carolina, little Patrick Hall getting a chance to run the ball now.
Well, Daugherty is playing just on heart alone because he's not 100%. But he goes back in, and you'll see for yourself that he's dragging that leg.
Yeah. He's trying to protect it, too. He doesn't want anybody to touch it.
Oh, man. When you're limping like that, you need to get off the field.
So Hall's run gained 31 yards and a 1st down. And he remains the tail of the tandem and gets another call. And is brought down by Daugherty.
On one leg. This is incredible. Watch Emmanuel. I mean, he's limping. You can see him limping right there. But I told you he was the leader of this team. And look at him limp over, and make the play. Incredible. That's really something. I mean, at this level, you expect a guy to take the night off. But that's how important it is because all of these guys have something to prove, especially when you go to junior college and then get a chance to play in the big time.
A gain of 2 for Patrick Hall, a junior from Richmond, Virginia. And Hall gets the call again. Straight ahead he charges before he is wrapped up high by DeAndre Amos out of Stockton, California.
Yeah, they said they couldn't get California guys wouldn't want to go to Charleston, West Virginia now. I don't know why they say that. I mean, the Pacific Ocean, the girls on the beach, it's not quite like that in West Virginia.
Well, the perception is, why would anybody from California want to come all the way across the country to play football? But that's the point. They want to play football. And there are only so many jobs out there, even with all those JCs in California. There are a ton of them. So there's a lot of talent. So why not spread it out across the country if they're willing to make the move?
Yeah, California is one of the top producers of football players in the country.
Running play to the left side, and Demetrius Morant, who has scored a couple today, is close to the 1st down.
That was Jason Wilson doing an excellent job making a tackle. Jason's only 210 pounds, but he wasn't intimidated. Now, last time we saw the lighter guy get run over, but if you use the proper technique, you can make the tackle.
Morant with 44 yards, and look at that. Coastal 80 players from North Carolina and South Carolina, and Charleston with a lot of their roster filled out by California.
31 of the 81.
Running play inside for the 1st down by Perkins. And Perkins chips away now, trying to get to the 100-yard mark for the 4th consecutive game. And before that handoff had 67 on 14 carries. And it is a 1st down as Andres Perkins, a freshman at 230 pounds, has been pounding the ball tonight along with his teammate Demetrius Morant, number 21, who just came out of the ball game.
Positive yardage, that's the name of the game for Coastal. Just keep the ball moving and move those chains.
1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. Perkins gets the call again and steps on the ground inside the 25 on the left side.
And there's Daugherty again, slowly getting up from the pile.
Now, getting back to what we were talking about with the JC transfers from California, you know, if you're in that position and you got a call from a coach saying we're starting a new program, we'd like for you to be a part of it, I would take that as a kind of a compliment. They had a chance to look at film. It wasn't as if they brought in a lot of these players blindly. He did have a chance to kind of weed out some of the players that he felt were not going to be fitting in here. And quite often, it's not a bad move to get away from where you grew up and see a new atmosphere. Pass complete on the inside. Nice turn and run inside the 5-yard line. The reception for Brad Klein. His first catch of the night. He hasn't had a lot of catches all year long. And Klein has a first and goal situation on the 4.5.
Look at that turn after the catch. He puts the ball away, and for a minute we thought he was going to go all the way, and then he fumbles the ball and fortunately recovers his own fumble.
So already we've seen Coastal Carolina here in the second quarter late. They're starting to use some players who don't normally get a chance to play.
Full house backfield.
Morant, number 21. Perkins, number 1. There's going to be number 21, Morant, looking for his third touchdown, and he gets it. Demetrius Morant scored for the third time on the ground as they really chew up the ground in this game for Morant. He now has 3 touchdowns and 48 yards on 9 carries. He looks relatively fresh.
You mean 3 of his 9 carries were for touchdowns? Unbelievable. That is something. That's quite an average.
Well, they're chewing up Charleston, whose defense is just kind of being worn down now, and it's relatively easy for Coastal Carolina to move down the field. Point after touchdown try. And Pope bangs this one through. So getting close to halftime here with 2:39 remaining in the first half as number 21, Demetrius Morant, scores. They're looking at the Football Network. 33-0, Coastal Carolina over Charleston. Number 21, Demetrius Morant, has scored his 3rd touchdown of the game. Andres Perkins has a couple of touchdowns. As we look at the numbers there, Gene, and again, Morant is making it very difficult for Charleston to stop any part of the running game. They're mixing it up and even starting to bring in some different players now.
Well, Charleston came in trying to stop Perkins, so they didn't expect Morant to score 3 touchdowns in the first half, I can tell you that.
Maurice Holmes, number 5. As you'll see as the ball goes down there, the man in the middle usually is the one who's been handling the kickoff, but he is going to give way to his teammate, Stanley Hollis here. Hollis with a hesitation, steps across the 15 and is stopped in the center of the field in a swarm.
You know, usually the top junior college players get a chance to go to the top schools. In fact, the University of South Carolina, Lou Holtz, is famous for bringing in top junior college players who come in with 2 years of eligibility left and go on to play. But there's so many junior colleges, and there are more positions available in junior college than there are in the big time. And it looks like another quarterback might be getting ready to come in for Coastal.
Ren McKinnon, who had been in competition this week with Tyler Thigpen for the starting job tonight. And he will get his chance to play as the inside handoff now goes to the running back, Chris Moore. As it's a kind of a downer at this point for Charleston trying to get anything going on offense.
But Maury Simpkins, number 33 for Coastal, he's loving it. And this is what he talked about all week, about the intensity. And even with this lead, he's not letting up at all. Look at those possessions for Charleston in the first half. Punt, 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 and then turnover. They would have preferred a punt, but what can you do? There's the bubble screen to the right.
And a nice completion over there. As number 16, Corey Eisner, now is in at quarterback for Charleston. As the pass completed to Chris Moore.
Well, Charleston has to do something because they weren't getting anything done in the first quarter. And they didn't get anything done in the second quarter. They didn't even have positive yardage. So now a new quarterback is just the answer, because a lot of times when a new quarterback comes in, things can happen. I remember when Kilmer would go out and Jurgensen would come in and things would happen.
Eisner 6'4", 180 from Ripley, West Virginia. Looking at a third down, 2 yards to go situation. Throw to the near side and the completion for the first down. And Trent Taylor goes to the near sidelines and able to get out of bounds. But he got that first down because of some good blocking.
Yeah, Coastal was outmanned that time, and they had several guys out there for Charleston. So the loose man comes up and makes this block right here, watch. And that's so close to being a clip, but he got away with it. You got to put that helmet in front, young players. Don't let that helmet get behind the player because they will call you for an illegal block.
So 1st and 10 with 1:23 remaining in the first half. And
boy, I love this formation. I just wish they had had this formation when I was playing, because there's so many things that you can do when you get in that stack, and it presents a lot of problems to the defense.
Referee Jim Knight will presumably tell us something here, or maybe not. He's getting information, and now here we go. Clarification.
Offensive team is being given a sideline warning. That is their first warning. There is no yardage assessment.
Now, a sideline warning can be one of two things. One, they're coming too close to the field because you have about a 5-yard cushion where you have to stay back behind the guys holding those flagpoles. Or it could be that they were going too far down the field. You see, they're all the way down to the 25. You saw that 30-yard marker. And you can't go much beyond that either. So it might have been 2-1.
Eisner with some time, but no one open, so he does it himself across the 30 and runs out of bounds.
Oh, that was kind of late.
Yes, it was, but no flag. Coastal Carolina very fortunate there that the flag was not thrown because it was clear Eisner was going out. And it was pushed there at the end. 1:03 to go here in the first half, and the clock stopped with Coastal leading at 33-0.
Well, it was positive yardage. You know, you got to crawl before you walk, and that was a crawl that time, about 2 yards, but it was positive. And again, they had that stack formation to the right coming. I see at the top of the screen.
3 receivers in tandem, 2nd down and 8. And Eisner looks over there for somebody, and he is able to complete the pass to Trent Taylor, number 12, but only for another 2 or 3 yard gain at best.
Yeah, Taylor was at the tail of that stack formation, and the 2 guys in front of him fly downfield, and he just stood there and got the ball. But Coastal read it and came up and made a good tackle.
Eisner now 3 passes, 3 completions for 13 yards. His longest completion 6 yards. Clock running inside 30 seconds to go in the first half, with Coastal leading handily. And again, the stacked receivers on the right side and the blitz coming on. And the pass to the near side and Moore. And Moore has the first down at the 40-yard line. So the clock stops with 16 seconds to go in the first half. Good read to pick up that blitz and get rid of the pass.
And this is just what Coach is hoping for, is that Charleston could get some momentum going into the locker room at halftime. There he is. You saw that signal with his hands. He was telling them what play to run. But it's very important to try to get some momentum going because they've just been run up and down the field by Coastal. So if Charleston can keep driving, even if they don't score, just by moving the ball, may give them some confidence to come back in the second half. Because we've seen so many amazing comebacks just this week. Monday Night Football, the way the Colts came back against Tampa. And teams can do that, especially with a passing offense.
Michigan last night on Minnesota.
There you go.
We could be asking a lot to try to get a comeback like that here, but why not?
Yeah, why not?
Go.
Hey, it can happen.
First half. And it presumably will be the last play of the half. Inside handoff, and it goes to Chris Moore. And Moore keeps the legs turning, but he is not going to get anything as the half comes to an end. And Jansen is standing by on the sideline. And he will have a brief interview.
Well, one team is running off very excited, and one team's running off with their heads down. And they can't be excited going in to listen to Coach Springston talking about what they've been doing wrong, because they've been doing a lot wrong in that first half.
Coastal Carolina and head coach Dave Bennett has to be pleased with the way he has seen his team not only run up the points, but take care of the ball and not hurt by turnovers or very many penalties. at all in the first half of play.
But Coach Bennett, you know, is a defensive coach, so sure they scored the points, but I think he thinks that the defense is what really was the difference for Coastal in the first half.
Coastal had only 2 penalties for 15 yards. Dan Jansen standing by waiting for Coach Bennett. And Dan, let's hear you have a nice conversation with Coach Bennett. Dan Jansen, downtown.
Well, Coach, great first half. You know, anyone who saw either Minnesota and the game last night knows that you got to play 4 quarters to win the game. What do you do to keep these guys from getting complacent?
Well, we'll go back in there and try it again. A game earlier this year, somebody came back on us. You know, I think at halftime we had somebody 42-17. We won that ball game 49-39. So it ain't over. They scored 58 points in the game against J.C. Smith. School out of Charlotte's been there a long time. So that's when you're right. You're right. It ain't near over. It ain't near over.
All right, thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Coach. Boy, he's losing his voice already. We'll be back with more halftime activities after these local messages. Coming to you from Conway, South Carolina. Coastal Carolina leading at 33-0 at the half. Back here at Coastal Carolina, 33-0 is the score at the half. Charleston being shut out. Let's go to the field now and the Coastal Carolina Marching Band. This guy's been hanging around the TFN offices in Baton Rouge, and boy, does he have a lot on his mind. He just wouldn't leave us alone until we let him vent a little. So now it's time to hear from the voice. Perhaps we should say the loud voice of fan frustration, our own Jack Ripplemeyer. Take it away, Ripster. Next time, we will not have caffeine in his coffee. It's halftime, 33-0, Coastal Carolina leading Charleston from West Virginia. You're watching all the action from Conway, South Carolina on the Football Network. We'll be right back with more after this. Bobby Bowden has dramatically limited the media access to his Florida State Seminoles this season, but not to TFN. Our own Paul Crane recently spent 2 days behind the scenes in Tallahassee with the legendary coach as he chases college football's all-time record for victory.
Keith Cooper from Myrtle Beach. Let's give a big
Getting set for the second half of action as Coastal Carolina begins to drift back onto the field. And Gene, they are a happy bunch because the first half of action, as you can see from the scoreboard, was all Coastal Carolina with a 33-0 lead. Well, you have that kind of domination. Of course, you're going to be happy when you come back onto the field. You can't wait to get back onto the field to try and run up the score some more.
Well, everybody's happy for Coastal except the punter. He didn't get a chance to punt one time.
The numbers reflect the domination for Coastal Carolina in that first half, especially the running game, and we weren't surprised that the running game was going to be a focal point and leading the way on the stat sheet.
The stats are just unbelievable. I mean, we see no points, but 188 rush yards to 2, 233 pass total yards to 25, and time of possession 18 minutes to 11. So we're going to see a lot of passing by Charleston this second half.
Well, individually, Andres Perkins for Coastal Carolina, he came into this game with 3 consecutive 100-yard games, and he's trying to make it 4 consecutive 100-yard games. And just looking at these numbers now, 16 carries and 72 yards. So if they decide to give him the ball in the third quarter, which I think they will, looks as though he's going to go over 100 yards. But also, Demetrius Morant had a big first half.
Yeah, they've had 3 different backs go in and do very well, Paul.
So Demetrius Morant with 9 carries and 48 yards in that first half of play, with Paul also getting 3 carries for 38 yards. We're going to take a commercial break and come back with a local station. Third quarter starting, 33-0 Coastal Carolina. Back here at Coastal Carolina, 33-0. We had a little bit of light rain there in the second quarter of play, but it was Coastal Carolina raining down on Charleston. As we take a look at some of the first half highlights, look for number 1 and number 21, the running back, scoring the touchdowns. But we also have a nice defensive play by number 92 coming up soon, but here is Perkins.
Well, we have a heavy dose of Andres Perkins. That's number 1 carrying the ball. But they have a 1-2 punch. They also have Morant, number 21. And when you have 2 big backs running like that, it's very difficult for a small defense. There's Morant coming through.
Here is a nice play by number 92, Grady.
And
Adrian knocking that pitch out of him. And now they take advantage of it with Perkins on the nice run. And there's Morant again. And Perkins again. And Morant again. Morant scored 3 times. Perkins scored twice there in the first half of action. We had one of the injuries in the first half of play, but Emmanuel Darty is still able to find a way to stay in the game. And then the light rain, let's go down to Dan Jansen.
All right, Coach Springson. First half certainly tough. You just told me a minute ago a little physical mismatch.
Yeah, it's a physical mismatch, and this is one of the issues that we face every week. We're just not big enough and strong enough with this group of kids to compete with the size and the strength and the quickness of a Coastal Carolina. We've gotten away with it with some Division II programs, but, you know, when you step up, you're going to get the physical mismatch. And as I said in talking with the television people earlier yesterday, they're Division I football players, and they play like Division I football players, and they look like Division I football players.
Anything that you could possibly key on to possibly close this gap?
Now, the problem that we've got isn't what we've tried to accomplish. The things we're trying to do are available to us, but you've got to be able to block them offensively long enough to give your quarterback a chance. Chris Moore's running hard, but we're not blocking well up front. And then defensively, they're running the football right down our throat, and then when we load up on that, their quarterback hits a big play, and it creates a big issue for us.
All right, well, good luck in the second half. Thanks for your time, Coach. Back upstairs, guys.
Thank you, gentlemen. And Mike Springston sounds a little exasperated, sounds a bit disappointed, but he also seems to be grounded in reality that there is a mismatch here physically that he's trying to deal with.
Well, there is a difference between Division I and Division II, and it's really manifesting itself boldly tonight.
Pat Shea, number 44, puts his foot into the ball, and it's on the way to the far sidelines, and Williams, and he is going to let it bounce. He thought maybe it would go out of bounds, but now he accelerates up that far sidelines across the 30 to the 34. So for a moment, I thought he felt that ball was going to go out of bounds.
Yeah, I thought it was going out of bounds, too. And he watched it, and he watched it, but it is a live ball, and anyone who picks it up can advance it.
Take another look. Is he going to go?
Over his head.
He hops. And now he has running room up that sideline. Nicely done. So first and 10 at the 34-yard line. Tyler Thigpen remains at quarterback for Coastal Carolina. And the running play to the near side. And lots of room there for Patrick Hall. Hall with a big gainer to the 20. And inside the 15-yard line to the 13. Wow.
Well, this is a situation where Darty Lippin just could not make it to the sideline. Coastal came out with the second string backfield, although Hall had some carries in the first half. He's behind Perkins. And watch when they come around that corner. It was really something he just couldn't get there.
So Patrick Hall now with 92 yards rushing on 4 carries. Wow, talk about a world-class average there. He looked as though he had world-class speed as he took that ball down for the first down. Handoff to the right side, and a broken tackle into the end zone for Ben Hampton, number 12. So touchdown for Coastal Carolina. Hampton out of Salisbury. So Hampton a 12-yard pickup for the score. And Coastal Carolina continuing the mismatch here in the early stages on their first possession of the third quarter. Josh Hoke on for the point after, number 47. Now they line up for the point after touchdown. You get a good look at it. And it's up and through. Hoke had missed a point after earlier, and he also missed a 47-yard field goal try, but it will be hard to tell by the score, 40-0 in favor of Coastal Carolina here in the early stages of the third quarter. Well, if you're a fan of football, you can't miss the Division I AA All-Star Classic. This game will showcase 100 of college football's best players and will be shown live December 30th on the Football Network. See the next Kurt Warner or Terrell Owens, two of a legion of NFL superstars who play 1AA football. The 1AA All-Star Classic, December 30th on the Football Network. So Coastal Carolina in this is a non-conference game, and they continue to, in the first year of the program, remember, with all these freshmen, and they're getting a tremendous amount of experience, because down the line 2-3 years from now, and these players are sophomores and juniors and seniors, this could be a pretty powerful program.
Not only that, but you were talking about the All-Star game coming up. It's going to be a couple of years before these guys are even eligible. That's how young this team is. They don't have anybody on the team eligible for the next 2 years to play in an All-Star game. So it's nothing but uphill. But again, we're seeing Division I against Division II. And you heard Coach Springston talking about how they had opportunities, but they were having breakdowns and couldn't get the job done. 40-0.
Hoke with the kickoff, waiting to receive it among others. Number 5, Holmes, but this one is kicked out of bounds, and so it'll be spotted up the field.
Yeah, that's a penalty. You got to kick the ball on the field of play to give the other team a chance to bring it back. And when you don't do that, you get flagged.
So they'll bring that up the field and start at the 35-yard line for Charleston. And Charleston says thank you. That's one of their better field positions all night long. But it's not a question even for field position. It's a question of being able to execute their plays, and they're having a tough time doing that. But they do bring back Corey Eisner at quarterback, and he was showing some signs of life there in the latter stages of the second quarter. But a running play for the first play of the second half, and Chris Moore is going to be spun out of bounds by Crosby.
Yeah, Moore does not have that speed that you need to get outside, and I guess that's what we're talking about, a Division I athlete, Division I running back. As we saw Perkins earlier, was able to turn that corner, and just very difficult to do that when you don't have the speed.
So they put 4 wideouts into the offensive set here, but those wideouts have been longing for a ball to be thrown their way all night long.
I mean, they're big and they're talented, and I don't see why they're not trying to get the ball to them on almost every play.
And we'll see what happens now with this big deficit. A pass in the offing, and down the field. Oh, almost a nice play by Eddie Bird. He tipped it and looked as though he was going to tip it to himself, but then he got some company.
Well, that's the blocking breakdown that Coach Springer was talking about, that they were having difficulty keeping Coastal out. Because this play could have gone a very long distance. Watch, the ball gets tipped, and he still almost had a second chance to catch it until he gets hit by 4 Coastal players.
Geiger came over, number 13, to make sure that wasn't going to be a spectacular catch. So 3rd down and 11, and nothing doing there. Adrian Grady wrapping up the quarterback. Corey Eisner didn't have time to look downfield because Grady was in his grill, so to speak.
Yeah, it looked like they were trying to do a run and shoot, and that time he ran, but didn't get a chance to get that shot off.
Greg Williamson is dropping back for the punt from Jeff Hoover, who's been busy. Hoover will be doing the punting, and that goes as a sack for Grady of 9 yards, a 9-yard loss. Eisner officially sacked. Hoover gets it away. And the punt coming to number 2, Darnell Williams, who's hit and brought down immediately. So Darnell, who has the ability to be a game breaker, didn't have a chance there as Cedric Owens makes the tackle. So we take a pause here from Charleston and Coastal Carolina. It is 40-0, Coastal on top. 12:55 remaining on the Football Network. 40-0 is the score. Coastal Carolina on top here in the 3rd quarter. And speaking of Coastal Carolina, why don't you tune in to this program, witness a program being built from the ground up. Football Network taking you here to Conway for founded 2003, birth of a tradition, where we'll chronicle the very first season of Coastal Carolina. Passing play for McKinnon. He said he's going to run, and Ren McKinnon in a quarterback out of bounds. If you want an insider's view of the glamour, passion, and the heartache of what it's like to start a football program, well, then tune into the Football Network every Friday evening. Check your local listings. So 2nd and 5 as McKinnon picks up 5 yards on that bit of ad-libbing. 40-0 is the score. So Red McKinnon, 6'2", 200-pounder, freshman, in at quarterback now, and has a little opening on the right side to run. He decides to go for the first down, and he's close to it on that right side. From the ground level, we can see as he is trying to find someplace. Look at his eyes.
And look at Darcy, number 41, limping over there. Just can't get there. There he is late getting there. But, boy, he's got a lot of heart to be out there dragging that leg, because he's difficult to defend yourself on one leg.
Also has 16 first downs to just 3 for Charleston with a 40-0 lead. 12 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter of play. 1st and 10. And McKinnon, no surprise, keeps this one on the ground. And the running play nets about 6 yards. Is Sean Talley from Morristown, Tennessee, is the running back.
Now watch Emmanuel Darty this time try to get there, but just didn't have the wheels to do it.
Well, that limp is more pronounced than it was a few moments ago.
But this is what you were talking about, Paul, about guys wanting to play. And he wants to play football. There's no question about it, because he's not getting paid to do this.
2nd down and 6. from the 42. And the inside handoff this time. Dane McFarland from Brentwood, Tennessee. So a lot of players who don't normally get a chance to see action are getting a chance to play now for Coastal Carolina in this one-sided game.
Well, look at this heroic effort. He comes up in there and just tries to hold on. It's got to be an inspiration to the rest of the guys on the team.
Well, you would think that some of his teammates could help him out and make a few plays as well. 3rd and 4. They might need somebody else to step up.
Well, he's leading by example right now, and he has no quit.
Out of the gun for McKinnon. And his pass is incomplete, intended for the little man, listed at 5'5", number 2, Darnell Williams. And there he is again.
Emmanuel Darty, number 41, does not quit. Look at this, how he lifts over and still gets a lick on the quarterback.
He's out of Merced, California, the community college there in the central California, between San Francisco and Los Angeles, where Merced's located. And here is the
first punt.
And it is going to bounce at the 10 and go out of bounds right at the 11-yard line. So the first punt for Josh Hoke, as we take another look at Emmanuel Darty. 6'1", 235, and a heart that is beyond measurement. That's a punt of 29 yards.
Boy, what a guy. Now if he could just get the offense to play like he's playing, they're going to score some points. On that last series, they came so close to a touchdown, but the ball got tipped. And as the coach says, there are some things they can do, but they must have time, and it's kind of hard when you have your back up against that goal line. No huddle offense. Got the stack to the left with 3 receivers.
And Jason Johnson in now at quarterback and throws the pick there inside the 5-yard line. And Coastal Carolina has the ball back. As that one was sniffed out immediately. Travis Kane, I believe, is the man who picked off. Look at that. Yep. That's Kane from Kennesaw Mountain, Georgia. 6', 180, a sophomore. And he seemed to know that play was coming.
Well, they saw it at the end of the first half. And on that triple, usually the team stays to that side. And I'm sure they made an adjustment at halftime on the defense. Because as you know, Coach Bennett is a defensive genius. And he had his man right in position to make the play. But can they get a touchdown by the pass ball? I mean, they've shown us they can run the ball into the end zone. We're still waiting for the first touchdown pass of the season.
Ren McKinnon trying with that touchdown pass, and it comes up a little bit short. Short hopped over there by Chris Noble. Had it been a little higher, he would have had the touchdown easily.
Oh, man, he was open. Oh, he was open. Look at Coach Bennett saying, look, that's all right, but when he's open, you got to throw him the ball so he can catch it. Give the man a chance.
Well, we heard Coach Bennett at the end of the first half. He barely had a voice then, and he's leading 40-0.
Wow, and it's a receiver's dream to get down there, to get one-on-one coverage. Because I always used to think that if I had a touchdown, maybe I'd get my picture in the paper.
Now they're going to ask for a timeout as Ren McKinnon turns and is able to find the referee, Jim Knight, for the timeout. Well, catch TFN Radio's Football Focus. News, features, interviews, analysis. If it's football, it's on TFN's Football Focus on the Sports Byline Radio Network, hosted by John Selesnik. Monday afternoons at 4:10, Thursday mornings at 6:10. Get up early for that. And Sunday evenings at 7:10. Check your local listing for Football Focus on TFN.
That's right. TFN football all the time. And I can't tell you how excited we are to be here at Coastal Carolina tonight, notwithstanding the score, but see the birth of a tradition. I mean, I think the TFN picked a great program to study because traditions are made, and Coach Bennett has a real vision about where they're going, and they plan on going to the championships very soon in the near future. And this is the kind of game that'll give you momentum.
Well, you win your first game ever. That was the Shots 21-14 victory over Newberry back on the 6th of September. All right, they're going to try and get another touchdown here. 2nd down and goal to go from the 5-yard line.
We still have single coverage with the lone wide receiver. Will they be tempted to try it again?
At receiver, Brad Klein. He is out of your picture at this point, to the left of your screen. And the pitch goes to the left side, and a cut back in for the touchdown, Patrick Hall. So Hall getting close to 100 yards. We were talking about Andre Perkins getting 100, but he hasn't had the ball in the second half. He's been on the bench, and Patrick Hall is the man.
Here he comes right at you using that speed. Watch his cutback. Never had a chance. That was unfortunate. He never had a chance, but it was fortunate for the Chanticleers of Coastal Carolina. Boy, tell you, they still have that bus lag. I'm telling you, that bus lag, that bus trip did them in. The bus beat them yesterday. It's not the Coastal team. I mean, they're good, but that bus ride finished the team off yesterday. I mean, I'm telling you, you know, being on a bus for 12 hours and then being asked to play the next day is a bit much.
So the conversion try now. The unconventional look to start off, and then the shift.
Well, they have a gimmick play, I'm sure, off of that, and you do it just to see what the other team will do, and it's one other thing that the team that you play has to prepare for.
And Polk kicks it up and through, but there is a flag on the field after the conversion. We have a penalty after the conversion. 10:19 to go, and we'll see what the penalty is from Jim Knight, the referee. It is 47-0 at this point.
Well, both teams have left the field. Now, maybe they know more than the officials.
Personal foul on the defense, both before and after the try. Both penalties will be administered on the kickoff.
So before and after the successful conversion for the point after to make it 47-0 in favor of Coastal. So that is your score here in the third quarter. 10:19 to go here in the third quarter. And let's pause for your local station. Back at Coastal Carolina, 47-0 in favor of the Chanticleers, and a lot of that work being done by their outstanding running backs tonight. A trio of running backs, and we'll take a look at the impressive numbers in a moment. We will have the kickoff. No, let's take a look at the numbers right now. First of all, Mr. Hall didn't play very much in the first half until late in the second quarter, and he's got 97 yards. Perkins at 72, Morant at 48. Those two, Perkins and Morant, probably will not play the rest of the game. They might give Hall the rest of the game off now and put somebody else back there. Now, that remains to be seen. So because of the penalty, the kickoff is going to be made from the 35-yard line.
And that's from Charleston's 35-yard line.
And it's obviously going to be a touchback. As they kick that one into the next county.
Now, if that had gone through, would that count as a field goal? No.
So 47-0 in favor of Coastal. So now Charleston will try again to mount some sort of a positive
No, they're frustrated.
reaction.
I mean, Paul,
Well, yeah,
that last penalty,
to go
they had
here.
a personal foul before the play and a personal foul after the play. Reminds me of the old Chicago Bears who would say, we won't win the game, but we'll win the fight.
They still get the ball at the 20-yard line. So, the 20-yard line, 1st and 10. And nothing doing as the run up the middle. Maybe a yard if it's a generous spot.
I don't think they've gained 2 yards on that play all night. They're not fooling anybody, and they're not blowing anybody off the ball. Why don't we take a look at it? Unbelievable stat there. Charleston is averaging a half a yard per play to 6.5 for Coastal. What a difference.
So now a passing situation here for Charleston. And the pitch play instead to the near side, and Chip Montes is the man who takes the pitch. First time he has been used as a ball carrier tonight.
Now we'll see some fakery, a little trickery, fake draws, option, pitch. And look how many teal jerseys are surrounding that ball carrier. It's at least 5 guys getting all the way to that far sideline. They're still playing very hard.
So Jason Johnson and a quarterback. And facing a 3rd and 5. Fakes the inside and takes it himself. Tries the left side and is ridden down from behind. Looked as though Adrian Grady was in among the first tacklers of the quarterback Johnson.
Yeah, Jasper Brooks came in there to help out at the end, number 40. He's been in on a lot of plays tonight.
So 3 and out. As Charleston is just outmanned here tonight. Greg Williamson, along with Darnell Williams, will be the receivers of the punt.
This will be his 7th punt of the game, and he's been averaging 29 yards a kick, so let's see if he can get it across midfield.
Jeff Hoover waiting for the snap. And no pressure, or should there be? 47-0 in favor of Coastal, and Williamson, Darnell Williams rather, makes the reception of the punt at the 40-yard line. So if you're a college football fan, you can't afford to miss TFN's rivalry series. The legendary matchups between Florida and Georgia, and Michigan and Ohio State will be available this fall on VHS and DVD. For information on ordering, go to thefootballnetwork.com. A couple of rivalries there that, of course, you must have a tremendous interest in. Storied rivalry. Coastal with a 47-0 lead on Charleston from West Virginia. 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line. And the quarterback, McKinnon, starts upfield before he is brought down. Had he gotten past the grab of Brandon Harris, he might have gotten somewhere.
Well, I think Emmanuel Darty finally called it an evening. I don't see him out there, and I'm hoping that he's icing that knee down and hope that he isn't injured too bad.
We'll take a look over on the sideline, see if we can see him sitting down and recovering. He has to be spent. He was in on every play defensively for Charleston, playing on a bad leg. McKinnon's pass is incomplete, intended for Williams, a little bit too low. There are some plays to be made, and with better execution, Coastal Carolina might be leading 60-0.
Yeah, that play is an interesting play too. Sometimes some people call it a bubble screen because the back runs in an arc coming around and has a blocker in front of him. And on that play, it was very close to being a lateral, and you have to be aware of that.
3rd and 9 now. Coastal on 3rd down tonight. 5 out of 8. Conversion.
Shotgun formation.
McKinnon handles the low snap and takes it himself straight ahead. And after a little juke, picks up a few more yards, but he's short of the 1st down by 3.
That was a planned play. Quarterback draw. Looks like he got shaken up a little bit on that play.
Another punt, though, for Josh Hoke, who's getting the kicking leg in order. Only his 2nd punt of the game. His other one, a few moments ago, went for 29 yards at the 7-minute mark of the 3rd quarter, and Coastal leading 47-0.
And there's Emmanuel Darty. He still has his helmet on. Wishing he could get back in there, but hopefully the coach is keeping him out. Got to be disappointed. You can see the look of disappointment on his face.
Maurice Holmes at the top of your screen, to the left of the screen rather, receiving the punt. Out. Coming up short, and will be downed at about the 33-yard line.
I think that ball slipped off the side of his foot.
He's not hurt. One of those nights where you try to work on some things now when you have that opportunity, and it is only his 2nd punt. 47-0 on the Football Network. Back with you here, 47-0, and Jason Johnson, the quarterback, awaiting the snap as Charleston on 1st and 10 from the 34-yard line. And Johnson rolling out, looking for someone, and it's batted away incomplete on the near sideline. Let's go to Dan Jansen on the sideline.
Well, guys, it may not look like it tonight, but Coach Bennett for Coastal Carolina has said that this has been his hardest year of coaching in all the years he's coached, mainly because of all the freshmen on the team. he's trying to teach them, in his words, that football is just a vehicle to greater things in life. And he says, you know, most of these guys will not go on to play in the NFL, so he wants them to be ready for life post-football. He does have his master's degree in guidance and counseling, so I think he's using that well. One other thing of note, he's also doing well for the community. He requires each player to do 5 volunteer assignments for the community per year, so he's doing good things for the community as well.
Absolutely. Ricky Holloway getting a chance to carry the football, goes up the middle. And Gene, a lot of the players gladly have a chance to go into the community and help out.
Well, the coach said they had 25 different activities that they were asked to volunteer for. And Andres Perkins was the top guy along with Hokie. And they attended 15 of the 25 opportunities. So they really are working in the community, and that's great to see.
Facing a 3rd and 5 situation now from the 38-yard line in their own territory. Charleston down 47-0 here in the 3rd quarter with 5:40 to go. And the handoff turns it inside. The ball carrier is number 23, Blake Burr. Blake Burr is closed in.
Watch the defense close in. You can see it looks like he has an opportunity, and all of a sudden a bunch of teal jerseys. Wow, count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's almost every play. And they've been very aggressive. And as we say, Coach Bennett is a defensive guy, and tonight he's showing no mercy.
8th punt for Jeff Hoover coming up, averaging 29.5. And again, Darnell Williams and Greg Williamson to receive the punt. With Hoover standing on the left of your screen. Takes the high snap, but no pressure, and hangs it up nicely. Williamson. Greg breaks a tackle at the 30 and is brought down at the 34-yard line, and there's a flag thrown into the mix as well. Tackle made by Jason Wilson, number 40.
Well, one thing about Coastal, Paul, is they have plenty of weapons. They really have some great guys at the skill position, and we're really seeing them all tonight.
So we'll find out about the penalty from referee Jim Knight.
During the return, illegal block in the back, 10-yard penalty from the end of the run.
Yeah, we were talking earlier that you can't block in the back. You got to try to keep your helmet at all times in front of the man that you block. Now, sometimes those defensive men spin or try to evade the block, and when they do that, you can be seen in a bad position when you really weren't trying to block in the back, but the guy will spin on you and you get called for it. And there are some young fans here tonight having a great time.
You start them young, and they're in on the tradition as well, being part of the first-year program. McKinnon with a handoff and a running play. Taking the ball out after a nice little gain on first down is Jermaine Harrington, a freshman from Girard, South Carolina, number 48.
And this is a great opportunity for the guys that work so hard every week on the scout team and helping the first stringers get it. Now they get a chance to get in. Now, Harrington, he's only 170 pounds, and that is small in any league for a running back.
They also put number 26, Ramard Cunningham, into the game. And Cunningham out as a wide out, but now another running play. This one that's a couple yards up the middle once again. Harrington, the ball carrier. 16 first downs for Coastal, only 3 for Charleston. That's the first down of that nice run.
I think we got to give some credit to the Coastal Carolina defense, because they were clearly prepared
on many levels. Andres Perkins, who had to settle for his 72 yards tonight on 16 carries. That is him on the right, number 1. Harrington again. No, it's a fake. Nice fake by McKinnon. Fooled me as he takes the ball to the 43-yard line. A gain of 9 on that run.
Number 40, Wilson, has come in to replace Darty at middle linebacker. And watch him come in and try to make the stop. Well, I guess when you're going against a 300-pound guy, that's what happens to you, because Wilson got into a back pedal and ended up getting pancaked.
Brad Poston moves pretty quickly for a guy weighing 300 pounds. And now a running play as McKinnon hands it off, and that one is going to pick up short yardage. In fact, that last run was not good enough for a first down, and a late flag in the secondary has been thrown. That was a 3rd and a short, and we'll find out about the penalties.
I told you we're going to win the fight. I mean, we may not win the game, but we're not quitting. We're from West Virginia, and maybe we won't win the scoreboard battle, but we're going to find a battle we can win.
This one is going to be against Coastal Carolina, though, as Dave Bennett finds out about it.
Coastal's getting just great execution on the offensive line. Watch the blocking here. Not so great that time, though. The defense really, I think the offense took a play off.
So a 15-yard penalty, and that ball is all the way back inside the 30.
Well, the defense did a good job stuffing that play. We haven't seen that a lot tonight. But again, they're not quitting, and that's got to be a credit to the coaching staff keeping that team together over at Charleston, West Virginia, because they've had difficulty all year, guys quitting the team, etc. And now they have 30 yards.
To 346 for Coastal Carolina.
Well.
So 2nd down and 17, and the pass to the far sidelines is complete. And a pop there at the end, knocking Braden Cannon out of bounds. As the Cannon held on to the ball, though, after bringing it in. Cannon must have felt like he was shot by somebody with a cannon when he took this hit.
Yeah, that could have been a penalty with that late hit, because he looked like he was out of bounds when he got hit. In fact, he might have been out of bounds when he caught the ball, but who's quibbling? Yeah,
that's one of those plays where the defender and the receiver, it's such a borderline play. I think the official said, well, how could either man tell they were that close to being out of bounds, and didn't throw the flag.
No harm, no foul.
Long one by McKinnon to the near sidelines and overthrown. The intended receiver, Ramard Cunningham, out of Lancaster, South Carolina.
But Charleston's still coming hard. Watch this on the pass rush. Oops. He got there, oh man, like half a second later, that would have been a roughing call. And that's a borderline call there.
Duran Woods figures I got to take out my frustration somehow.
But no, we're going to win the fight. I told you that. We're not going to win the game maybe, but we're going to win the fight.
This is Holmes after taking the punt, and he's down at about the 41-yard line. Check the TFN website, footballnetwork.com. We'll have in-depth information on your favorite teams, including a special section for you 1AA fanatics. We'll also complement our fantasy football programming with even more content and analysis. Exercise your football gland online at footballnetwork.com. 2:02 to go in the 3rd quarter, and it's 47-0 in favor of Coastal. Coastal Carolina, the Chanticleers. And now Charleston with the ball once again. The deepest drive, their own 43. You say it's sputtering.
Means they have not crossed the 50, folks.
Fumble on the exchange from center back to the quarterback, but recovered. And then the brief handoff goes to Rob Maggi out of Coral Springs, Florida.
Well, I think it's time to give some credit to the defensive coordinator for Coastal Carolina, and that's Coach Curtis Walker, who has been with Coach Bennett going back to Catawba. He was one of the first hires after Bennett got hired. He brought his own guy over. He graduated from Catawba in '92. And we saw him working yesterday with Coach Bennett on the defense. And one play they were working on was that bubble screen. And we can see they've shut it down tonight.
Jason Johnson, number 19, and a quarterback. It's a rainy night here. You can't tell it's not raining very hard, not like that game earlier today in Tallahassee. But a light rain's been falling for most of the game, as it turns out, as Johnson keeps it on the left side and charges straight ahead across the 45-yard line to the 46. Going to be short of the first down. He has to get to the 48 in Coastal Carolina territory for the first down.
Well,
1 minute to go in the 3rd quarter.
He could have doubled their entire rushing offense right there. They had 6 yards before that play, 21 carries for 6 yards, and I think he picked up 6 or 7 there.
It's going to be 3rd and 5. Next week, Coastal Carolina has a bye, so they will be able to savor this game, have those bumps and bruises heal.
They'll be at the drag races probably.
Their next game coming up on the 25th at Savannah State. Running play on the inside, turned it back up. And Rob Maggi is the man who was the ball carrier. As the third quarter will come to an end. But Coach Bennett, he's not going to have much of a voice at the end of the game. He was already pretty hoarse at halftime. I don't think they'll be able to get a playoff before the quarter comes to an end, and that is the case. And
he's still coaching.
Oh, yeah.
With the lead like this, he is still coaching. There's Curtis Walker right there. I told you about defensive coordinator.
We're going to pause for our local stations and take a look at the scoreboard. Coastal Carolina with a 47-0 lead over Charleston at the end of 3.
And there's Curtis Walker, who's a defensive coordinator and also works with the inside linebackers. He's been with Coach Bennett for 9 years, spending 7 years on the staff at Catawba, where he was a linebacker coach. And defense is so important to the Chanticleers.
Here is Darnell Williams trying to make something happen with flags all over the field. And look at this. He will not go down until finally succumbing at the 33-yard line. So we'll find out about all these penalties. He was able to bring over quite a number of his staffers from Catawba, and that continuity also helped kind of ease the transition, plus all that time they had to prepare.
And you can see they're still very intense. I mean, it starts at the top, and it's not by accident that the team continues to play with intensity.
Holding during the return by the receiving team, 10-yard penalty, first down.
So the holding penalty and the first down now. 47-0 Coastal. We're in the fourth quarter as Jim Knight has been busy tonight with his penalty call.
But we're seeing tonight what hard work produces. Now, Coastal has a big advantage. They've been together for 2 years. Charleston, they just got together this year. Coastal had 30 to 45 guys lifting weights on a regular basis for over a year. And we're seeing that strength tonight.
Ren McKinnon once again at quarterback. Tyler Thigpen made the start and played very well in the first half. And the pitch play near side. Good effort to get in there to make the tackle for number 11, Mike Jasper from Camarillo, California, where my sister lives, and her husband. Can't leave him out.
Got to mention the brother-in-law, huh? Well, look at those stats, and they look great on one side and not so great on the other. You see that Coastal is winning in every statistic. Time of possession, first downs, total yards, everything. 301 rush yards to 11.
So after a 2-yard gain, second down and 8 out of the I formation. And the lead running back there, number 35, bouncing to the outside and looking for running room and finds plenty of it. As Dane McFarland with a first down and then some at midfield now, brought down there. So Dane McFarland getting a chance to show what he can do. Number 35, Dane McFarland out of Brentwood, Tennessee, and look at him work.
Well, you can see this time that he'll come in and then bounce to the outside. And for a fullback, usually you don't see fullback getting around the corner. But McFarland is the exception tonight.
It seemed like he bounced off of one of his own men and got almost like a spring to the outside. So Dane McFarland stays in as the fullback on 1st and 10. And they call his number again, and look at him charge right up the middle before he's met. A shoulder tackle by DeAndre Amos. And now an 8-yard gain. Second down and 2. So McFarland with 25 yards on the ground, a couple of carries, just into the game.
And you know he's also an honor roll student. And as a former honor roll student, I would just like to emphasize that some of us football players are actually scholars as well.
Oh. Here is another handoff once again up the middle. McFarland. Now you went to Amherst, right?
Yes, sir. Division III.
Okay.
So I can understand how a Division II program and the guys don't get a chance to go to Division I. I don't know if I really had a chance to go to Division I.
But that's upper division educationally, though.
Well, they're all good schools, and the people at Charleston, they really do well in their community as well. I was talking to the coach, talking about what they do there, and the people back in Charleston are very proud and wanted to have a football team back. And they made the decision. They knew it was not going to be easy getting started late this year, but they were committed, and better things will come in the future.
47-0 Coastal. And we were talking about Charleston as they try to find players to from week to week to have some continuity. Talk about continuity as the running play goes to the left side, and Jermaine Harrington is brought down with the combination of injuries and discipline problems. Because the rules are very strict. You miss a meeting, you're going to miss the game. You miss the bus, you're going to miss a game. And the coach said, well, I have to establish the bar very high with the discipline. And Coach Springston has paid for it on the other end with some players, some starters. He's got some guys in there who were third string at the beginning of the year who are now starters and obviously undermanned.
I wouldn't call it a discipline problem. I mean, this is one of the few areas in life when you get discipline, you know why you got discipline. I remember one time I actually got a C, and I still don't know why I got a C. Or one time went to an interview and a guy didn't like me. I don't know why he didn't like me. But this was so great about football because it's all out there on the field. You go back and see the films, and you can find out why you're starting, why you're on the bench. And when you come late to a meeting, you don't realize that later on you come late to work, you're going to get fired. And that's what the coach is out there trying to teach these guys. You really learn about life when you play football because there's so many circumstances that you run into where you have a chance to quit and do something wrong, and you learn about it.
Well, Coastal Carolina is going to go for it on fourth down, about half the length of the football needed for the first down. And they stack the backfield behind McKinnon, who hands it off, and there's the first down and then some. So the ball carrier, number 23, is Sean Talley with the first down. And they came in just 50% on fourth down tries. They had 12 fourth down tries earlier before this one, and now they make good on this.
Charleston was looking for something up the middle that time, and they bunched it in there. And the running back broke it outside, a first down.
Coastal continues to march up the field with some fresh bodies in there, so to speak. And the fullback, Dame McFarland, has been getting his number called, number 35. And he takes the ball into a crowd and spins and is spun down. And right on the stop is number 11, Mike Jasper.
Let's go back to that last play and look how the defense stacked the middle. See all of those white jerseys in the middle? Well, guess what? They were in the wrong place at the wrong time because running back went right by them. The Coastal Carolina offense, they have been averaging 174 yards on the ground, 4.1 a carry. Well, tonight that average is going to go up. They have 342 already.
Second down and 10. Bit of a stumble by the ball carrier. And Harrington really doesn't gain anything and might have lost a yard. As soon as he got the ball, he almost lost his footing. Number 48. So it's an exercise in executing the offense and trying to teach those players on defense to recognize certain schemes and certain looks.
And it's a team game. Yeah. It's a team game. It's not about individual statistics because Perkins could have stayed in there and run up his statistics. You know, we said that he was ranked 12th in the country, averaging 119 a game, and tonight he had to leave with 72 yards. So his average goes down, but the team is successful, and that's what it's all about.
I think Coach Bennett had a little compassion for his opposite number, and there's a busted play, and the whistles blew this one dead, so no fumble, as McKinnon was hoping to hand the ball off, but by the time the intended receiver had left the area, he was naked there and could only just take the loss. So now the punt. Loss of 5 on that play. Maurice Holmes will stand inside the 10 as Josh Hoke will punt. And for Hoke, only his his fourth punt of the game, and all those punts coming here in the second half. 47-0 Coastal with 9 minutes to go in the game. All Coastal. And the low kick. It bounces inside the 10. And it's going to be grabbed by Holmes. He almost goes into the end zone, turns upfield, keeps his feet, bounces off a man. He's out to the 20-yard line. What an individual effort. Wow. He made something out of nothing, didn't he, Maurice Holmes? So 8:49 to go.
Yeah, I don't know if the referees like the way he jumped up talking to the other side. Let's see what the call is here.
Yeah, if he jumped up talking trash, he should be penalized. His team is down 47-0.
Scoreboard, right? Just look at the scoreboard.
And he's admonished on the sideline.
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct on the return team, half the distance, first down.
We can't score. We can't talk trash. I mean, golly, they got to be able to do something.
So we take this commercial break for our local stations. 8:49 to go. Coastal. I take that back. This is the Football Network, a national break at 8:49 to go in the game. We're back 47-0 in favor of Coastal Carolina, and Charleston in a situation that's familiar to them, starting in bad field position, and they've had the long field all night long. But a nice run up the middle will open up quite a bit of working room across the 35 to the 37-yard line for the running back Blake Burr, B-U-R-R. So a nice run by Burr. So this is...
Well, Charleston, West Virginia, in their first 4 games, scored a total of 30 points, but in their last 2 games, they've averaged 30 points, and now they're only averaging 7 over the last 2. And that's going to go down unless they get on the scoreboard here tonight.
Being blanked tonight. They're coming off a 23-7 loss to Concord after running up 58 points on a weak Johnson C. Smith team. To the right side, and the pass is complete and out of bounds there, short of the first down, however, as Darius Parker reception.
Well, we've been trying to get the ball to the wide receivers for Charleston all day. Watch how he goes down and comes back for the ball. That's a good comeback route. Need to see some more of that.
Don't like to have him come back 15 yards, though.
Hey, if that's what it takes to get open, come on. I mean, got to get open tonight. We haven't been doing so well on offense for Charleston.
Number 80, Jarius Parker, at the bottom of your screen now after that reception to make it 2nd and 4. And they keep it on the ground, the running play inside. And, ooh, boy, like a pinball being bounced around is Blake Burr. He was trying to pull out of one tackle and got hit up high, but he seems to be none the worse for wear. He took some punishment on that one.
Well, it looks like Charleston has 2 good backs, and I'm sure that Burr is happy to have the opportunity to carry the ball here tonight.
More numbers to illustrate the domination for Coastal Carolina. 19 first downs to 4 for Charleston. Trouble. And just simply running out of bounds with the ball is Corey Eisner.
That's been the problem all night for Charleston. They have not had time to pass. They have big, talented receivers, 6'4", 6'3", 210, 190. But that size doesn't mean anything if you can't get the ball to them. And it just seems that Coastal has the answer every time that Charleston comes up, even though they hadn't been huddling before. So now they're huddling now. I guess they're getting tired.
2nd down and 9. The lone running back is number 23, Blake Burr, as the quarterback Eisner out of the gun. And let's see if he can make something happen. Well, he gives it to Burr, and Burr with the first down run. So Burr on that right side and kicked out of one potential tackle early and kept the legs churning and gets that first down. So a nice effort. We've seen Burr carry the ball impressively here now. He's close to 50 yards.
James Brochu made that saving tackle. It was a shoestring tackle, number 24 for Coastal.
Burr out of Linderwald, New Jersey. Football players from New Jersey always get a lot of attention.
Yeah, but they never go to Rutgers, though.
7 minutes to go in the game, and once again, it is Burr in the backfield, number 23. Takes the handoff and surges straight ahead, and the Coastal Carolina defense still looks like it's fired up despite the one-sided score, 47-0. James Brochu in on his 2nd consecutive stop out of York, South Carolina. As we take a look at Burr, and Burr now with 5 carries and 50 yards. He's the leading ball carrier for Charleston, and he's just been in here in the 4th quarter, in the second half.
Would you call this a drive, Paul?
This is a drive, an impressive-looking drive. Burr is out of the game now, and they give it to Harrington, and that's an impressive-looking tackle. Jasper Brooks snuffing that one out.
Yeah, he's had quite a few tackles tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if he's in double figures between tackles and assists, number 40. He is so elusive. He doesn't stay blocked. Even if you hit him, he keeps moving.
So second down after that loss there, 13 yards to go.
Now they're going the wrong way again. They lost 4 on that one.
So third down and 13 yards to go. And they're 2 of 11 on third down conversions. Eisner unloads high and picked off. Intercepted on the far sidelines. The ball brought in by DeWitt Myers, number 5. A nice pick. But that ball was hanging in the air quite a while. He could see it coming.
Yeah, Myers read that all the way. He stayed in his back pedal. And as a receiver, you have to get the defensive back out of the back pedal before you make a break. Otherwise, that's what's going to happen. And there's the happy Myers there, number 5 with the interception. And
he's out of Summerville, South Carolina. So we take a local break. 5:24 to go in the game. Coastal leading Charleston 47-0. With the ball once again, 1st and 10 on their own 32-yard line. And no surprise, a running play. And that's maybe a couple of yards as the play went straight ahead. Deshaun Talley has been seeing some running time in the backfield. Ramard Cunningham as well. In the second half, I mean, they have rested their lead runners.
Well, I'm telling you, we're witnessing tonight, Paul, the birth of a tradition. And I know we're talking about that, but this Big South Conference is really going to be enhanced by a great Coastal Carolina squad. And you can tell that these players stay together for another 2 years. Look out.
Courtney Furr, number 17, is in at quarterback for the first time, his first series. And that's his second play. And again, another running play. Furr is from Charlotte, North Carolina. 6'2", 215 pounds, junior. So DeAndre Harris on the stop. 3rd down and 3.
You know, Gardner-Webb is one of the top teams in that Big South Conference, and they scored 17 points on them. Although they lost 38-17, they were in that game until late.
And they had some turnover problems last week that they have not had in this game. Talking about Coastal Carolina. And on 3rd and 6, they're not going to get the first down here as Jermaine Harrington is wrapped up and brought down.
And the wide receivers for Coastal are still throwing at the defensive backs down the field. I mean, these guys are playing like it's a tie game.
Now they're dropping back a new deep man, number 29, Garrett Gregory, to receive the punt. First time he's been back there tonight. And J.T. Henderson is punting for the first time tonight. Number 95. You don't see very many punters with number 95, but J.T. puts the right foot into it. Gregory letting the ball bounce, and it rolls dead inside the 30-yard line. That stops the clock. At 3 minutes and 14 seconds to go in the game. Coastal Carolina leading 47-0. You're watching football on the Football Network. Back at Coastal Carolina, the band has been playing happy songs all night long. 47-0 the score, as the Chanticleers have dominated this one. Running play on the inside and battling for the yardage is Chris Moore as he charges out beyond the 30 to about the 34-yard line, short of the first down by 4, with the clock running there. 3 minutes to go in this one. And Coastal Carolina will have evened its record on this young season, the first season, at 3 wins and 3 losses, and that's an accomplishment. And beating a team that they figured they should have been able to beat, a Division II team coming in playing Division I AA, Coastal Carolina. So 2nd down and 5. Once again, Moore on the handoff. The quarterback, Corey Eisner, with a bit of a touch block there as running back was being chased. And now Eisner goes over to the sidelines to have a few words with the head coach. Meanwhile, Dave Bennett of Coastal Carolina, he's coaching to the very last second.
Well, Coach Bennett has a lot of positive things to talk about tonight to his team at the end of the game, while Coach Mike Springston does not have so many positive things to talk about. In fact, it's going to be difficult for him to find anything positive to talk about except for Emmanuel Darty, who played half a game on one leg.
And that was impressive. Eisner, the quarterback. The running back is Moore. Now, I believe too much time was taken. The 25-second clock expired. And that is the case. Oh, I'm sorry, false start on the offense.
But if he hadn't false started, the time also was out false. So you were right. Official didn't even see the clock.
So 1:45 to go in this one. 2 out of 12 on third down for Charleston.
And that's their either 9th or 10th penalty tonight, while Coastal only had 5 penalties.
Now, before that flag, 81 yards on 8 penalties for the University of Charleston. From West Virginia. And now quarterback Eisner looking for guidance and sign from the sidelines and ready to go on 3rd and 7. And he keeps it himself to the 35-yard line, and in a pile surges close to the first down, but he's going to be short by a couple of yards. And now we're at the 1-minute mark to go in this game from Brooks Field here in Conway, South Carolina. Right in the heart of the Myrtle Beach area.
The golf capital of the world. Over 100 golf courses here. So if you play golf, you got to come down.
A lot of those golf courses played a little longer the last couple of days because of the conditions. Damp and rainy last couple of days here. Coastal Carolina waiting to punt. And deep to receive is Travis Danley. And now the kick is away from Jeff Hoover, who's been busy all night long, and the fair catch is called for and made on that far sideline by Danley. Danley, a sophomore from Conway, South Carolina. And so with 17 seconds remaining in the game, I believe we'll have one more play as they begin to celebrate on the Coastal Carolina side. "17 seconds. Yeah. So they'll just line up in the tight formation, take the snap, and that'll be that. And there it is. And so the clock will run out, and Coastal Carolina has itself a 47-0 victory here at home in front of the partisans as Coach Dave Bennett shakes hands with his good friend Mike Springston. So 47-0 the final score. Your thoughts, Gene?
Well, I think that Coastal Carolina is really creating a tradition, and they're doing that with defense. Coach Bennett has been known for his defense. They had a great defensive squad at Catawba, and he's bringing the same stuff here. And I just think if this team stays together for another couple of years, they're going to challenge for the national championship.
Oh, Hall, 97 yards. Perkins, 72 yards. Morant, 48 yards and 3 touchdowns. The running attack leading the way for Coastal Carolina. And they have a week off to kind of heal from any bumps and bruises here.
Right, and you have a week off too. Great job, partner.
So Coastal Carolina wins this game handily over Charleston, the undermanned Charleston team. And Charleston will go back to the drawing board and try to find some positives from this game. There won't be that many there. We want you to stay tuned to the Football Network. Paul Crane in our studios back in Baton Rouge after these local messages. The Football Network has brought to you this one. Coastal Carolina shutting out Charleston 40-7 to nothing in Coastal Carolina's first season of football. Good night, everybody.